So everybody, we have Brian and Natasha from William Paterson. Is it the peer health advocate? Is that the, okay.
Yeah, you got it right.
They're going to be giving you your presentation tonight. We'll have Q&A at the end, Natasha?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there'll be a chance if you have questions to ask them at the end, and hope you enjoy the session. Oh, we have one more person coming in. Whenever you're ready, Natasha and Brian.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, hi everyone. We are the peer health advocates. My name is Natasha. My pronouns are she, her, hers.
Everybody, my name is Brian. My pronouns are he, him, his.
And
You know why they do that now, right?
I'm sorry? Oh, okay. So we're going to begin the presentation, and it's de-stress with the PHAs.
So we're the PHAs, we're the peer health advocates. We are students that work with the Health and Wellness Center and other campus organizations to share resources that can help you make better informed decisions about your health. So we work with other organizations on campus, so like clubs, Greek organizations, or even faculty and staff. We do presentations like this one on stress management, anything about mental health, or even sexual health.
So with this presentation, I want to make sure that everyone understands these guidelines. So this is not a confidential platform. So make sure not to call anyone by their name or call them out, and make sure to be accountable for your words. Remain open to different ideas and opinions. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and respect everyone's opinion, even if you disagree. And make sure to challenge yourself. Typically, if you're a quiet person, make sure to kind of be open to the conversation. And if you're more of a talkative person, make sure to allow others to join in the conversation as well. So with this quote, I want to begin the presentation, and it's by the one and only Queen Bee, Beyonce's grandmother. And it says, "I had my ups and downs, but I always find the inner strength to pull myself up. I was served lemons, but I made lemonade." So it's basically saying that even though they went through a lot of things throughout their life, they always make sure to kind of combat it and make sure that they make the best of the situation.
Okay, so we're gonna start just a little icebreaker. And we wanted to know, like, what brings you comfort? You can either show or tell us if there's anything that brings you comfort. So I'll start off. Some things that bring me comfort is painting. I'll show off one of my paintings. I like to paint because it helps me relax and it's a lot of fun for me. It's like getting away. And if anybody else wants to share, please feel free.
So I guess I'll share as well. So one of my favorite music artists is actually Bad Bunny. And for my birthday, they actually surprised me with a pillow of him. And it actually brings me a lot of comfort when I'm going through something sad. I'll just hug it or anything like that. And it's actually really comfortable. So that's one of my favorite things. So anyone else can share. If you don't feel comfortable talking out loud, you can always use the chat as well.
I'll share. Mine is really general. I love catching up on my shows. That really brings me comfort. Just, my random shows. So.
What's your favorite show at the moment?
Sabrina.
Oh,
it's very
okay.
old, but yeah, I'm catching up on Hulu. So.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Anyone else would like to share?
I'll share. I find comfort in my family. When I go home, I like being at home with my kids and my husband.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Thank you all for sharing. Anyone else before we go to the next slide?
Okay, so somebody in the chat wrote, doing free draw to calm down. Okay, almost similar to mine. Helps out a lot. And somebody else said meditation.
Oh, we're actually going to talk about that later on in the presentation. So you're right on track. So for the next one, it says, okay. What have you learned during this pandemic? Have you made any self-discoveries, any new habits that have improved your mental health, or anything that you can do now that you didn't know you needed before? So I'll start. Throughout this pandemic, it's been kind of hard for a lot of people, if not everyone. And for me, it was really hard to kind of manage all my classes virtually, since all of my classes were in person. So I always had good time management skills, but when you're home, it can always kind of feel like you're home, you're in your bed, you kind of just want to not do anything, want to sleep all day or just watch TV. So my planner / calendar was very, very helpful. And my time management skills got so much better throughout the pandemic. Because of that, I made sure that every hour or so I had an exact plan of what I was going to do throughout the day to make sure I got all my assignments done, so I cannot be as stressed out throughout the semester. So anyone else would like to share?
I'll share something really quick. Something I learned during the pandemic is cooking. I'm actually not a bad cook. Me and my fiance used to get takeout all the time. So we never really cooked, but now, like being during the pandemic and a lot of things closing and with COVID, we've had more time to cook and try out new recipes, and I kind of found it a lot of fun, and I'm really not bad at it, which I'm very glad. Okay, Pamela said that she's a new painter.
I'll also share something. I went on a lot of hikes with my friends. I was introduced to hiking. I had never hiked before, really, but I really did enjoy it. So we had the time to do it. I think what the pandemic gave me was a little bit of extra time because I didn't have to run around to all the sporting events and the things that my kids are involved with. So when we were looking for new things to do, hiking was one of them.
Oh, wow. I love that. I've went hiking a couple of times, but I definitely want to go hiking more, especially because the weather's already starting to get nice, and go to different places.
It's really beautiful.
Oh, anyone else before we go to the next slide? Okay,
So self-care 101, figure out what works for you. Talk to someone. That means talking to a parent, a sibling, a family member, aunt, uncle, even a significant other. Get some fresh air. So like it was mentioned before, hiking, or even if you're in your house, open up a window and just take a look outside and get some fresh air. You don't have to like physically walk out. Clean and organize. So this is one that I really like agree with. You know, sometimes when you're so like everything's like very disorganized in your room or your workplace, sometimes you feel like everything is like very like everything's so clogged up and you have no space. And listening to music, this one I believe everybody can agree on. Music can definitely change our mood, make our day from a bad one to a good one. And meditation. So, and with meditation, we'll be talking about this a little bit further in the other slides. And is there anything else that anybody wants to talk about, like any self-care, any other ideas that people have?
I think sometimes exercise is a good way to relax.
Oh yeah, definitely. So like, and I guess hiking is also exercising too.
Yep.
And somebody in the chat said doing yoga. Pamela said doing yoga.
You guys are really ahead of the game. We're going to talk about that too.
I also wanted to add, I think also sleep, getting enough sleep, I think is also a
Mhm.
self-care.
I
That's true.
agree. I think another thing I would say, it would also be like doing your skincare routine or something like that. It's also like a form of doing like taking care of your physical self, but also like your mental self. A lot of people find it relaxing, and it's also a way to like give yourself some like massages throughout your face, some form of loving care. So I know a lot of people who literally do it every day, their skincare routine, because it relaxes them.
And somebody else in the chat said drinking enough water. Oh, definitely. I know water is a big, big thing.
Okay, so the next slide.
Okay, so expectation versus reality. Let go of the expectations of how, when, where, and why you should meditate. You have been told or have seen in media, everyone has different needs and methods that work for them. So when it comes to meditation, everybody's is different. I know a lot of people either look at like YouTube videos or on Instagram sometimes, or on social media, you see videos of people doing yoga and showing you how it is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Everybody has their own way. You just gotta kind of figure it out, put your phone down and then just figure it out. If it's meditation, could be sitting on the couch and doing nothing, or it could just be listening to music and just laying down on your bed, or it could even be like going outside and just sitting and looking up at the sky. Meditation can almost be anything.
So how to start meditating. So there's different ways you can do it that can be a guided meditation. So one of them is Spotify. On Spotify, they actually have little playlists for meditation if you already have the app. I know with Spotify, it is free unless if you go premium. So that's a good way to go get some guided meditation. Another one would be Headspace. I actually have the app and I love Headspace. You do have to pay for it if you want to get more guided meditations, but when it's like free, it's like if you don't, they'll give you like a couple of meditations on it, and some of them are like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and there's some that are like really long. There's ones that help you sleep, help with stress, and in general just meditation. There's YouTube. So before I knew about Headspace, I used YouTube and I would put beginner's guide to meditation. Or you can do like 5-minute meditations or anything like that. The good thing with YouTube is that they have a bunch of them. So you'll always find a meditation on there, and there's different ones. So I know on YouTube, they have one that isn't really guided. They'll have some that's just like listening to the ocean, or there'll be the loving kindness meditation. So there's a bunch of different meditations there. And then other apps. So if you just go on your app store and you just write meditation, there will be a bunch of different ones. I know another popular one is the Calm app. I haven't used that one, but I heard it's similar to Headspace. But there's a bunch of different apps, either on Apple or Android that is for meditation. So we're actually going to try a meditation. It's going to be a very short one. I want to say if you feel comfortable, you can turn off your camera just for this little short meditation, and I'll begin it. So hold on 1 second.
Hi, and welcome to Headspace. So no matter what's going on in your life right now.
Can everyone hear it?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Thank
Hi,
you.
and welcome to Headspace. So no matter what's going on in your life right now, no matter how many thoughts are racing around your mind, no matter how the body's feeling, just take a moment to sit down and take a big, deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, a sense of taking in fresh air, the lungs expanding. As you breathe out, a sense of letting go of any stress in the body, in the mind, just feeling the muscles soften and relax. And close your eyes if you'd like to. One more. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just take a moment to pause. Allow the thoughts to come and go. And then just gently opening the eyes.
Okay.
So taking
Ooh.
some time to get comfortable, whether you're sitting up or
Back. It's not. Okay, so how did everyone feel after that short introduction to meditation? So that was just a short one. They have longer ones on the app, or even if you go to Headspace on YouTube, they have longer ones as well, where it does try to like, it's more taking deep breaths, relaxing, clearing up your mind. It does take practice, but how did everyone feel in that short one?
I think even if it's short, it sort of gives you like perspective once it tells you to kind of, close your eyes. A lot of things goes on in your mind, but then as you breathe in and out, it kind of becomes more blank or more like relaxing in a way. And that's just, for a minute. So I think in understanding that basic step I think it gives you a perspective.
It does. I love it a lot. Okay.
Journal prompts. Do a worry page in the pages of your journal without stopping. Write down everything that is churning around in your mind. Once it is out of your head, give yourself permission to leave it in your journal and come back to it later with a clearer head. Write a list of the day's accomplishments and victories, no matter how small. Celebrate each one individually. It doesn't always have to be writing. You can always use your phone. It doesn't have to be like notes or anything. It could be a social media post on Instagram or anything. You can always write it on there. For me personally, I honestly like to just write it on my phone because anytime I need to go back, it's always there. And I never lose my phone. So I know where it will look all the time. But yeah, so if you ever have a bad day or anything, just write it down and then later come back to it when your head's a little bit more clear. And it could even be like a problem that you're having, and coming back to it can help you with a clear mind, can help you find a solution for it. The power of arts and crafts and play. So for me, I can honestly relate to this one because at the beginning I showed off my painting. I like to paint. It helps me a lot. The reason is because like sometimes like with art, you just mostly focus on what you're doing in front of you, that you begin to forget about everything around you, which is like a good quick getaway. And actually studies have shown that art therapy, coloring, and drawing in general can minimize anxiety and combat negative mood.
So the power of yoga. So with yoga, I actually do yoga, and I started during quarantine. I was getting a bit stressed out and I wanted to exercise as well, and yoga was the perfect fit for me. I like it because I feel like sometimes with meditation, although I do it every now and then, I like it with yoga is that it keeps me going and moving. And it does help with like my back problems, even though I'm young. I feel like sometimes my body can feel like an old lady, especially sitting in front of a computer all day through Zoom with school or anything like that. It really does help me get going, as well as it also helps clear my mind, which is what I like. When I'm doing it, I'm just focusing on the yoga. I'm taking the deep breaths throughout each exercise, and it helps me clear my mind. I do use YouTube, so I just wrote like YouTube beginner's guide, and I do it. It's like 10 to 15 minutes, and then as I continue going, I do it longer. I personally like to do it in the beginning of the day just to get me help clear my mind in the morning, as well as like get my exercise in the morning and have that big stretch as well. But yoga is definitely my favorite way to de-stress. So I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so that's basically the end of our presentation. So we are on Instagram and Twitter. So with Instagram and Twitter, the handle is WPPHA. We do post a lot of our events that we do have there, as well as we do have little like like little quotes here and there that we post as well, and any other health information that you would need throughout this pandemic as well. And thank you, everyone. I know we wanted to see, before we officially end, any questions that you do have for us.
I have just one question. It's I was wondering if you have any more examples or suggestions. That I know all of these examples that you have already provided, there's always a kid version to it. Like, you know, yoga, there's kid yoga. Do you have other suggestions that are more towards, let's say, kids in that sense, like elementary school or middle school?
So for what we usually do is we usually would do de-stress fast right before final. So that was, I believe, last week. And basically what we like to do is we use a lot of Play-Doh. So there would be Play-Doh coloring books there to de-stress, fidget spinners. We realize that more the creation side is more helpful for more kids, where they like to like kind of show their creative side. It kind of distracts them, and also allows them to express any stress that they do have. But I would say like drawing, coloring, Play-Doh, fidget spinners. They always like to have those little things to play with. And yeah. Oh, someone has.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Doreen's computer, so she couldn't really speak to you, but she said she enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Do you anticipate ever like doing this in an in-person situation? Have you done that prior to COVID, or is this your first presentation?
No, so we've done presentations. So I've been a peer health advocate for 2 years now. But with COVID, obviously we have to go remote. But we've done a lot of presentations in person, whether it's in the classroom setting, or it's also through programs. So a lot of organizations would always ask for us to come in. And we also do a lot of events. So it's usually Thursday night events. And depending what the topic is and the month it is, like sometimes it'll be sexual health, mental health. Lately, it's been a lot of mental health because of COVID, but we're hoping that, well, me and Brian are graduating. So we're hoping that next year, the peer health advocates will be able to like come back and do it in person again.
Do you coordinate with the schools? Or like, did they reach out to you? Just you go into the school setting?
So we're with the Peer Health Advocates, we're in William Paterson. So that's an organization within William Paterson. So the organizations on campus would reach out to us and we will go, like, depending where they are. So a lot of Greek organizations, the Center for Diversity and Inclusion, faculty and staff, the classrooms as well. So like a lot of Healthy U classrooms and Pioneer, the first year Pioneers.
So just really on your own campus.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you go into the school systems around, like the elementary schools or high schools.
Oh, no, so we haven't, since I've been a PHA for 2 years, we started doing that recently where it's been, I think this is the second time we're working outside of school, which is very exciting because it's mostly college students. So it's nice to see other fresh faces outside of campus.
I have a quick question. My son and I are having a discussion whether video games is a way to relax. How do you feel about that?
Me personally, I kind of like video games as a stress reliever, you know, as stress management, and because it does help you get away, like a movie. And it does, like, I guess it also depends on the game you're playing too, because some games do get me like very anxious and riled up, but they can also be very relaxing. And, you know, after a long day, you just want to, after a long day, usually I just want to come home and just play on my Xbox and just forget about the day and just focus on what I'm doing in front of me. So video games can definitely be a good stress reliever. It just depends on the game. But yeah, a lot of studies have shown that video games do help with anxiety, but it just, yeah, like I said before, it just depends on the video game you're playing.
And what about and also the amount of time you spend doing it? I mean, you wouldn't want to do it for hours.
Yeah, especially if you're a
mean,
student and you have a lot of homework, you definitely don't want to get caught up too much in the video game. But if you just want to come home and just forget for a moment, like maybe 30 minutes, an hour, that's fine. As long as you give yourself a little bit more time after to do your work and any other duties that you may have.
Yeah, right now it's set to go off at an hour. So he does have an hour.
Yeah, there's a time limit to it.
Oh, so it works out. Yeah, it's kind of like I forgot who said it, that they enjoy watching like their TV shows. Like that's a bit of a stress reliever for them and catching up and kind of just escaping into like the shows like reality and whatever. So it's kind of like that. You're just kind of catching up with video games instead of doing it with shows. But I would definitely say a time limit would definitely be helpful, because I feel like if you spend too much time on it and not focus on like schoolwork or other things, it's going to cause you more stress than being a stress reliever.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Natasha and Brian, I wanted to say thank you very much for the presentation. It was really great. And good luck next year as you leave college.
Yeah.
Thank you.
you.
Like you have a good start here. So thank you very much. And we'll post the YouTube video. So if anybody wants to refer back or has any questions, you can get in touch with us at the library. And that's about it, I think, unless anybody else has any questions.
Thank you, Natasha and Brian. Nice to meet you both.
Thank you so much. It was nice meeting all of you.
Yep.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
All
You
right, thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.